There are voices in the world that don't just speak, they echo. They ripple through generations, shaking silence into courage, fear into faith, and pain into poetry. Dr. Maya Angelou was one of those rare voices, a poet, a storyteller, a civil rights activist, and a woman who turned her suffering into strength. Her words continue to light paths for those who feel lost in the dark. In this video, we reflect on 10 of Maya Angelou's most powerful quotes, not just to hear them, but to understand them, to feel them, to let them live within us. Let's begin. Quote 1. I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. This is perhaps Maya Angelou's most famous quote, and for good reason. In a world obsessed with outcomes and achievements, she reminds us of what truly lingers: emotional impact. Think of the people in your life, the ones you still carry in your heart. Chances are, you don't remember every word they said or every task they performed, but you remember how they made you feel in your hardest hours: safe, seen, loved, or perhaps ignored, dismissed, broken. Maya's words are a call to presence, to treat every interaction as an opportunity to leave someone better than you found them. You may not be able to solve everyone's problems, but you can always offer kindness. Always. That is the legacy of the heart. Quote 2. We may encounter many defeats, but we must not be defeated. These words are not just motivation, they are armor. Maya Angelou reminds us that defeat is not the same as being defeated. One is a moment, the other is a mindset. Think of how many times life has knocked you down, and yet, here you are, breathing, trying, still moving. Defeat might bruise you, but it doesn't have to break you, because being defeated is not about what happens to you, it's about whether you let it define you. Maya's life was full of hardship, trauma, racism, silence, loss, and yet she rose, again and again. Her strength didn't come from an easy life. It came from her refusal to stay down. She taught us that grit isn't loud. Sometimes it's just getting up one more time. Let this quote remind you that you are not your worst day. You are not your failure. You are not your loss. You are the light that rises after the storm. And that, Maya says, is undefeated. So when life confronts you with failure, don't ask, why me? Ask, what now? Because every defeat is just another lesson in becoming unbreakable. Quote 3. When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. Voiceover. This quote is both a warning and a wisdom. It reminds us that people reveal themselves, not just through their words, but through their actions, through the things they choose. Again, teaches us that truth doesn't hide. We just sometimes choose not to see it. When someone shows you who they are, in how they treat others, in how they handle conflict, in how they honor or dishonor your trust, believe them. Not the version you wish they were, not the story you told yourself about who they could become. Believe what they've already shown you. It doesn't mean giving up on people. It means grounding your heart in reality so you don't lose yourself in illusions. Boundaries are not cruelty, they are self-respect. And Maya's words are a reminder to protect your peace even when it's painful. Sometimes love is letting go of the version of someone you created in your mind and honoring the truth of who they really are. Quote 4. You may not control all the events that happen to you, but you can decide not to be reduced by them. Life is unpredictable. It throws things at us we never asked for. Illness, heartbreak, injustice, loss. We don't always get to choose what happens to us. But Maya Angelou's words remind us, we always have a choice in how we respond. You can decide not to be reduced by them. That is powerful. That is freeing. That means we are never fully powerless. You are more than what happened to you. You are more than the trauma, the betrayal, the disappointment. The pain might shape you, yes, but it doesn't have to shrink you. You can walk through fire and still refuse to let it burn away your worth. Maya doesn't ask us to pretend things didn't hurt. She invites us to rise through it. to hold on to our dignity, our voice, our essence, even when the world tries to strip it away. So, next time life hits you hard, ask yourself not, why did this happen to me, but who do I want to become in the face of this? Your power is not in the event, your power is in your response. Talk to power. You may not knowing the man. Not be reduced means refusing to let pain harden you, refusing to let setbacks define your worth, refusing to lose your voice even when the world tries to silence it. You don't have to be cheerful all the time. You don't have to pretend everything is fine. But you can decide, deeply and quietly, that you will not be lessened by this. You will not shrink. You will grow roots deeper than the storm. Because healing isn't always about bouncing back. Sometimes it's about standing still, looking life in the eye and saying, "You hurt me, but you do not own me." That, Maya says, is your power. That is how you remain whole. Flintop quote 5. If you're always trying to be normal, you will never know how amazing you can be. There is safety in normal, in blending in dimming your light so it doesn't upset the room. But Maya Angelou challenges that comfort. She asks, what if being normal is just another name for hiding? So many of us shrink ourselves to fit into spaces that were never meant for us. We quiet our opinions. We soften our edges. We learn to be polite, agreeable. Too loud, too different. But what if your too much is exactly your gift? Maya's words remind us that you cannot discover your extraordinary by clinging to the ordinary. You cannot uncover your brilliance if you are always playing small. Being different is not a flaw, it's a fingerprint. Your creativity, your voice, your story, no one else has it. And if you waste your life trying to be like everyone else, you will never meet the person you were born to become. So dare to be weird, dare to be wild, dare to be real. You don't need permission to bloom, only the courage to stop pretending you're just a seed. Because you were never meant to be normal. You were meant to be unforgettable. Quote 6. Nothing can dim the light which shines from within. This quote is not just encouragement. It's a declaration, a quiet revolution whispered to the soul. Maya Angelou reminds us that no matter how dark the world becomes, there is a light inside of you that even the worst days cannot extinguish. It's not a light given by anyone else, not status, not approval, not applause. It's the light of your essence, your integrity, your resilience, your truth. There will be people who try to dull it, situations that test it, moments that make you question if it's even still there. But Maya says, nothing can dim it. Not rejection, not failure, not heartbreak, because what is truly yours, your inner light, is not fragile. It was forged in the fires you survived. Think about it. Even on the days when you were cracked open, you still found a way to love, to show up, to try. That is light. You don't need to shine like anyone else. You only need to remember that the glow within you was never dependent on outside approval. Let Maya's words wrap around you like a soft shield. You are luminous. You are lit from within. And that light, it is your power, your protest, your promise. So keep shining, even when no one sees it, even when you forget it, because nothing and no one can dim what's already burning in your soul. Quote 7. Try to be a rainbow in someone else's cloud. With this one simple line, Maya Angelou gives us a mission, not grand, not loud, but quietly life-changing. She doesn't ask us to fix the whole world. She asks us to bring color to someone's gray, to be a small beam of light when the sky over them has gone dark, to be kindness, compassion, presence. We all have clouds, days when nothing makes sense, moments when we feel invisible or broken or just tired. And in those moments, someone's smile, someone's softness, someone's understanding, even if small, can feel like a miracle. Being a rainbow doesn't require perfection. You don't have to have it all together. You just have to be willing. When you try to be a rainbow in someone's cloud, you often become one in your own. Because kindness is not a transaction, it's a transformation. Of others, yes, but also of you. So look around. Someone near you is carrying a quiet storm, and maybe, just maybe, your presence is the light they didn't know they needed. Quote 8. I can be changed by what happens to me, but I refuse to be reduced by it. Maya Angelou never denied pain. She didn't pretend that the world was fair or that wounds didn't leave scars. But in this quote, she draws a bold, beautiful line. Life can shape me, but it will not shrink me. We all carry stories of what has happened to us. Some are marked by grief, others by betrayal, injustice, disappointment. These moments leave impressions on the soul. They change how we move, how we trust, how we dream. And that's okay, change is inevitable. But reduction is a choice. Being reduced means letting the pain define your worth, letting heartbreak convince you you're unlovable, letting failure silence your voice. But Maya says, no, you are not your suffering. You are not your past. You are more. To live by this quote is to say, yes, I have been hurt, but I am still whole. I have been shaken, but I am still sacred. I carry the weight, but I will not let it break me. It is courage in its quietest form, to rise, not untouched, but unbroken. Let Maya's words be your shield. Life may change you, but don't let it reduce the grace, the fire, the wonder of who you are. You are not less because you've been through more. You are more because you chose to keep going. Quote 9. Courage is the most important of all the virtues, because without courage, you can't practice any other virtue consistently. This quote is a quiet truth with deep roots. Maya Angelou names courage, not kindness, not honesty, not love, as the foundation of all virtues. Why? Because every noble act begins with bravery. It takes courage to be kind when the world feels cruel, courage to be honest when truth risks rejection, courage to love when you've been hurt before, courage to stand up when silence would be safer. Without courage, even the best parts of us hesitate. They flicker in fear. They wait for permission. But Maya reminds us, courage is the key that unlocks the rest of who we are. And this courage isn't loud or dramatic. It doesn't always roar. Sometimes it's just staying true to yourself in a room where you don't fit in. Sometimes it's having the strength to walk away, to speak up, to try again. Maya knew that a soft-spoken truth can be the boldest rebellion, that every act of grace in a hardened world is an act of resistance, and that it all begins with courage, the quiet decision to keep living with heart. Quote 10, my mission in life is not merely to survive, but to thrive, and to do so with some passion, some compassion, some humor, and some style. This quote is Maya Angelou's anthem, a declaration of how to live, not just exist. She doesn't just speak of survival, she speaks of thriving, of rising above the bare minimum and choosing to live with soul. So many of us are taught to endure, to push through, to get by. But Maya urges us to do more than just breathe. She wants us to ignite, to thrive with passion, to pour yourself into something that stirs your spirit, with compassion, to walk through the world with tenderness, even when you've been hardened, with humor, because laughter is a rebellion against despair, and with style, not just in clothes or words, but in grace, in poise, in the beauty of how you carry your scars. Maya Angelou turned pain into poetry, struggle into wisdom, and everyday life into something radiant. She showed us that to thrive isn't to be perfect. It's to live fully, vulnerably, and intentionally. So ask yourself, are you just surviving, or are you thriving? Are you moving through your days, or are you dancing through them, even when it's raining? Let Maya's mission become your own, to live with more depth, more joy, and always with some style. These words, Maya Angelou's words, are more than quotes. They are lighthouses. They are reminders that even in the darkest moments, we can rise, we can love, we can heal. Each quote is a seed, a quiet offering to the soul. Some speak of courage, others of kindness, resilience, or truth, but all of them ask us the same thing: to live awake, to live open, to live with heart. So which quote stayed with you? Which one whispered something you didn't know you needed to hear? Let us know in the comments, because when we reflect together, we rise together. If this touched you, even for a moment, subscribe, share it with someone who's searching, and let Maya's voice continue to echo through yours. Remember, you are not here just to survive. You are here to thrive, with some passion, some compassion, some humor, and always with some style.